Something changed before they said it. You felt it in the room. The language stayed polite, but your position started getting lighter. The meeting looked normal enough. Then your name disappeared from a follow-up thread, and a decision touching your work moved ahead without you. What you're experiencing has a name. It's not bad luck. It's the early stage of being classified as easier to move, bypass, or eventually remove. In the next few minutes, I'm going to decode the 10 behaviors that quietly push professionals into that category before any formal conversation begins. The first sign is not criticism. It's compression. Your access, context, and influence narrows slightly before your title, workload, or review language changes. But the sharper part comes next. Most professionals don't notice the label forming until the organization has already started testing life without them. The first behavior is overexplaining your value. When you constantly narrate your effort, people hear labor. They do not automatically hear leverage. The second behavior is solving everything without creating visibility. Useful professionals get praised. Replaceable professionals become the quiet system everyone assumes can be redistributed. Picture this. Monday morning, your manager thanks you privately for carrying the team. Friday afternoon, your project gets reassigned during a capacity adjustment conversation. That wasn't a random. It was a test. They were measuring whether your output could move without creating political discomfort above you. The third behavior is responding too fast to everything. Instant Slack replies look committed at first. Later, they signal that your time is endlessly movable. The fourth behavior is treating every request like an order. Once people learn you rarely push for clarity, they stop treating your judgment as essential. The fifth behavior is staying agreeable when the criteria keep shifting. Flexibility sounds professional. In unstable systems, it can make your boundaries disappear. If this sounds like your last quarter, you're not paranoid. You're paying attention. Replaceability usually announces itself through tiny permission changes before any formal label appears. Performance reviews rarely start the story. They summarize a story. By the time the language turns vague, perception has already been negotiated elsewhere. Here's what actually happens. Organizations do not primarily protect the highest performer. They protect the person whose value is visible, legible, and politically convenient. That leads to the sixth behavior. You do excellent work. Nobody above you can easily describe. If they can't summarize it, they can imagine replacing it. The seventh behavior is correcting power in public. Even when you're right, public accuracy can be interpreted as private disobedience by an insecure manager. Picture the promotion cycle. You enter the formal interview prepared and polished. The actual decision was shaped 2 calibration meetings earlier without you in the room. That's the part nobody warned you about. Promotion processes often validate a narrative already chosen. The interview is sometimes theater for a decision already stabilized. The eighth behavior is giving away clean ownership. You share templates, contacts, and process knowledge without preserving your strategic role in the work. The ninth behavior is letting your manager represent your contribution upward. The moment someone else becomes the sole translator of your impact, your position gets softer. But here's what makes this worse. Many professionals think replaceability is about skill. In reality, it often starts as a control problem, not a talent problem. HR sees it from a distance first. The language stays neutral. Words like fit, consistency, and collaboration quietly replace specific discussion of output. The 10th behavior is emotional transparency with the wrong audience. Once frustration becomes visible in the wrong room, your predictability gets questioned before your performance does. Picture a pit meeting that sounds calm and procedural. HR says they want to support improvement. The documentation is actually creating a cleaner future separation path. That is why neutral language matters. Let's clarify expectations can mean observation has already started. Let's create structure can mean removal now needs paperwork. Here's a phrase to keep ready. Can you put that in writing for me? Calm language slows vague pressure and forces unstable claims into visible form. What makes this worse is timing. Reorgs, layoffs, and return to office pushes give leadership cover. Political decisions suddenly wear the costume of business necessity. Picture the town hall announcement. The reorg is framed as strategic focus. 2 weeks later, your role is evolving, which somehow leaves your core function scattered across others. High performers get especially vulnerable here. Once your competence becomes strong enough to create independence, certain managers stop seeing support and start seeing reduced control. And then the coworker piece enters. Someone acts supportive in one-on-ones, then subtly edits how your tone, ambition, or fit gets described upward. What looked personal is often procedural. What looked procedural is often personal. This is where the pattern reveals itself, and the middle managers know it. Talent reviews and calibration meetings matter more than most professionals realize. Your rating can stay intact while your future gets quietly lowered one conversational notch. A skip-level meeting can be another signal. Sometimes it's support, sometimes it's evidence that your direct manager is no longer fully willing to protect you. Let me pause here for a second. If you've watched this happen in your team, drop a comment with the earliest sign you noticed. Maybe it was Slack silence. Maybe it was invite shrinkage. Maybe it was praise that never translated into headcount, budget, title, or actual protection. That comment matters because these patterns feel isolating when you're inside them. They make more sense when you hear how often other professionals recognize the same sequence. And if this kind of decoding helps, subscribe. Most workplace damage is not loud. It happens through interpretation long before it happens to policy. Now watch what happens next. Once replaceability gets attached to your name, the system begins rehearsing your absence in small, deniable ways. Meetings continue without your context. Decisions move faster around you than through you. Your work remains important, but your presence starts looking increasingly optional. Picture this. Your manager praises your ownership in a staff meeting. 3 days later, a cross-functional partner is told to work directly with someone else. That split is deliberate. They want your output without your bargaining power. They want continuity of work with less dependency on your judgment. Here's a phrase for that stage. Thanks for the feedback, I'll think about it. It buys time, reveals nothing, and keeps you from reacting on their timeline. This is where it gets sharper. Replaceability is not only about whether someone can do your tasks, it's whether the organization believes your absence can be narrated cleanly. If they think your departure can be explained as restructuring, culture, budget, or simplification, your actual contribution becomes easier to politically discount. Picture the skip-level conversation after a conflict. The senior leader sounds curious, almost warm. Then they ask strangely basic questions about work you already own. That can signal something serious. You are no longer being discussed as protected territory. You are being evaluated as a movable component in a broader cleanup. Performance reviews then mirror that shift. Output still appears on the page, but adjectives like reactive, inconsistent, or difficult to scale begin surrounding it. Here's what to watch for next. When someone asks for more documentation than usual, they may not be supporting efficiency. They may be supporting transferability. Use this sentence when metrics start moving. I want to make sure I understand. Could you clarify the metric? Clarity forces politics to expose itself as preference. Another sign is severance language appearing too early in rumor networks. When people start referencing business conditions, a narrative container is already being prepared. Hybrid work exposes this quickly. Return to office directives are not always about collaboration. Sometimes they are loyalty tests dressed up as operational discipline. Professionals who question symbolic rules too bluntly often get marked as harder to manage, not harder to work with, harder to politically position without friction. That is when restraint becomes useful. I prefer to discuss this when we have more time, is non-avoidance. It prevents you from donating usable emotion. The deeper problem is isolation. Once peers sense uncertainty around your standing, even decent coworkers become careful. Social distance often arrives before formal action does. Picture a coworker who just wants to help. In talent review, they describe you as brilliant but intense. One word reshapes your reputation for months. Meanwhile, leadership starts pressure testing successors. Someone shadows your meetings. Someone else learns your process. Nobody says replacement, because rehearsal sounds better as development. What you thought was random is actually scheduled. Succession testing, documentation requests, and narrowed access often appear together because they serve the same outcome. Use another steady question here. What outcome are we trying to achieve here? That sentence exposes whether the conversation is about work, optics, or control. Your defensive move is not aggression. It's narrative protection. Keep your wins dated, specific, and attached to business outcomes other people cannot casually rewrite. Keep receipts, but stay composed. Save threads. Confirm decisions in writing. Quiet professionals last longer when their professionalism leaves an evidence trail. If expectations suddenly change, slow the pace. Ask for definitions. Ask who owns the metric. Ask what changed since the last review cycle. If this pattern feels familiar, trust that signal. Most professionals wait for certainty. By the time certainty arrives, the organization has already finished its emotional decision. Picture the final version of the reorg. Your role is not eliminated directly. It is redistributed into fragments, each small enough to justify somewhere else. Where the promotion list comes out and your name is absent again, you are told to be patient. The slot was never truly open to you. At that stage, stop donating blind extra effort. More labor does not fix a political classification. It often makes your transition easier for everyone except you. Instead, protect reputation in 3 directions: upward for narrative, sideways for witness, and inward, so frustration does not become self-sabotage. Be visible with precision, not volume. Share outcomes, not emotional essays. Let people see what changes when your judgment is in the room. Not every battle should be public. Some of the strongest moves in unstable workplaces are clarification, documentation, timing, and refusal to react on cue. When a manager gets vague, get exact. When HR gets calm, get observant. When meetings get smaller around you, assume meaning before they announce it. And keep this sentence ready. I'll check my notes and circle back. It sounds simple, but it interrupts pressure and gives you control over sequence. So ask yourself this. In your workplace, what gets rewarded more consistently right now? Real contribution, easy control, or clean optics? Then ask the harder question. Have you been trying to prove value in a system that is actually measuring manageability, silence, and convenience? Because that is the final reveal. Replaceable is rarely a pure performance category. It is often a political classification disguised as an operational conclusion. Once you see that, everything changes. You stop chasing approval from unstable people. You start watching access, language, sequence, and who benefits from your uncertainty. You do not need to become cold. You need to become precise. The goal is not being liked by the room. It's becoming difficult to erase cleanly. If you've seen one of these 10 behaviors cost someone their standing, put the earliest sign in the comments. That pattern will help someone else name theirs sooner. And subscribe if you want more of this. Most workplace advice teaches effort. This channel teaches recognition before effort gets quietly used against you. Because the moment you see the system clearly, you stop performing loyalty for people already practicing your absence.